Welcome to my Alliance Quest Uldaman guide. This is meant to supplement my 1 to 60 Alliance leveling guide, where we will be going over how to collect all of the quests for an Uldaman quest run and then complete them. So first, of course, you need to find a group. You will most likely find a mage because of the mage quest inside, or an enchanter, as the master enchanter trainer is inside Uldaman as well. And we'll cover how to help out your group members get the mage and the enchanting stuff done, even though you won't need it if you are a warrior following the leveling guide. You should be at least level 40 and find group members that are all above level 37, 38-ish. 35 is okay for a healer, but you're kind of risking it because one of the monsters you may end up killing is level 44. Next, let's go over the quest roundup, as many of the quests for Uldaman quest run are chains. First off, in Ironforge in the Hall of Explorers there are 3 quests. The Lost Dwarves and Reclaimed Treasures will be direct Uldaman quests, but the quest Iron Band Wants You starts a chain that leads to Uldaman. So once you have those 3 from Ironforge, the next step is to fly to Thelsamar. You'll need to grab the quest in Thelsamar Badlands Reagent Run and complete it in Badlands and turn it in for the Uldaman Reagent Run follow-up. Then turn in Iron Band Wants You at the excavation site in eastern Loch Modan, and this will send you on the quest to find Egmont down in southern Badlands to a dwarf corpse. When you turn this in, you'll get the quest Mauradon, which asks you to kill trogs nearby. And while you are killing these trogs, it's a good idea to go south of Egmont's End along the southern mountains and be sure to grab the quest from the dwarf there, Solution to Doom, another Uldaman quest. And when Murderlock is complete, you have to run back to Loch Modan to turn it in back at the Iron Band excavation site to get the Uldaman quest Agmon's Fate. Because both Uldaman Reagent Run and Agmon's Fate both require you to do a quest in Badlands, then turn it into Loch Modan to get the Uldaman quest, it's ideal to do them both at the same time to only have to run or hearth back to Thelsamar once. Aside from those 2, the only other quest chain we need starts from the paper in the Hammertoe dig site on the upper level under the square tent in Badlands. When you get this quest and then turn it in at the dwarves just south of the Hammertoe dig site on the mountain, you'll get the follow-up, A Sign of Hope, which sends you into Uldaman. And the last quest is from Wrigglefuzz, beside Martek the Exiled, in the middle of Badlands, so talk to Wrigglefuzz for the quest Power Stones. To double check that you're truly ready to run Uldaman, you should have the quest The Lost Dwarves, Reclaimed Treasure, Agmon's Fate, Uldaman Reagent Run, A Sign of Hope, Solution to Doom, and Power Stones. If you think that's a lot, most of these chain further for more experience, and we're still missing one, but we're ready to head in Uldaman once we have these. So gather your group outside and start killing your way into the Uldaman tunnels. Firstly, we want to keep an eye out for a random green item, a shattered necklace, that starts a quest. You don't need to start the quest as your quest log is probably full as you enter this dungeon, but be sure to pick it up and keep it in your bags and take the quest when you get enough space in your quest log. Now, a lot of these quests happen outside of the dungeon, and 3 of them are loot quests, so they can take a bit of time if everybody has them. Firstly, Power Stones wants us to loot 8 Dentrium and 8 Analuum stones that drop off of all the Dark Iron mobs down here, so be sure to kill in excess and loot them all. They also drop inside the dungeon, so it's not a big rush to get this done instantly, but ideally complete it outside if you can. Secondly, Uldaman Reagent Run wants us to loot Magenta Fungus caps. They are found all around the caves outside the dungeon, but they are also found inside the dungeon in areas without stone. They respawn fairly quickly, about 5 to 10 minutes, even within the dungeon itself, but we need a lot of them, so be sure to clear around to them for each of your group members as you find them. Thirdly, the quest Agmon's Fate wants us to loot carved stone urns. They spawn only outside the dungeon, so it's important you prioritize getting this done with your group before you try to enter the dungeon. When you get into the tunnel inside the Uldaman dig site and clear into the first dig site, you should encounter a dwarf off to the side of the cave named Hammertoe Grez. Turn in the quest A Sign of Hope and accept the follow-up, Amulet of Secrets. Now we have 3 quests to do outside the dungeon in addition to the collection ones we just mentioned, and the caves outside Uldaman can be a bit confusing. First, follow the tunnel to reach the area named Dig 1, and then take a left when the path forks. When it forks again into 3 paths, the middle one is our target, where we should find a named mob named Mauradon Deep Shadow. Kill him for Hammertoe's amulet, and in this same area, down at the bottom of the dig in this cave, there is a chest. We need to loot this for the quest Solution to Doom. So be sure to clear to it and clear around to any urns and mushrooms you find for your group as well until everyone completes Solution to Doom and Amulet of Secrets. The last thing to do then is reclaimed treasures. Backtrack to the fork and this time take the southwest path that should be filled with trogs. You'll need to clear through the trogs until you reach the stone room called the North Common Hall, and on the south side of the room, near the pillar, you should find the chest. Clear to it and loot it so you can complete the quest Reclaimed Treasures. Once you've got it, the next step should be to clear your way back to the Hammertoe Grez. When you reach him, turn in the quest Amulet of Secrets and take the follow-up, A Prospect of Faith. This is arguably the most important of the quests because it leads to multiple freebie experience chunks, so don't forget to turn in the amulet before going into the dungeon. With all that done though, all that's left for you to do is make sure you finish collecting the urns and get as many mushrooms as possible, then head inside the dungeon. In the dungeon, our first step is in the southern cave, which you should see on your minimap right away when you enter. The rooms in front of you have hallways leading left and right, and they all lead to the same destination and have the same amount of mobs. Ideally clear south to reach the cave faster. The trogs here are only level 37, so this shouldn't be hard for your group. Just be sure to take out the healing totems and interrupt any heals the oracles try to cast, and you should only get pulls of 1, 2, or 3. Do be aware that these trogs will try to flee, so make sure you are using Hamstring or Piercing Howl to properly avoid them getting adds. When you reach the southern cave room, move in through it cautiously as it is full of stealth cave lurkers. By themselves they are not that threatening, but if you charge in you may get large groups aggroed onto you, so utilize perception if you're human, and pull cautiously until you can reach the 3 dwarves up on the hill. Turn in the quest The Lost Dwarves and accept the hidden chamber, then make sure someone in your group loots the chest on the table for the Kiv medallion. This is a tradable and required for the quest and the first boss. Then go back the way you came and keep killing the trogs up the hall leading west. When the stairs go up, you will find a named trog named Revelosh. He's a mini-boss that comes with an ad. Be sure to CC or kill the ad oracle first and then focus him down and utilize interrupts. With him down, he will drop the Shaft of Tsul. Be sure that your group trades the shaft and amulet so that one player has both of them and then combine them to create the Staff of Prehistoria. The next step will be to clear the entire room around the mini-city in the middle. This room is once again filled with a lot of stealthed ambusher trogs, cave lurkers, so what looks like a single pull is usually a pull of 2 to 3. For this reason, be sure to have the group stand back and let a single player, ideally you or the tank, walk forward to aggro the stealthed mobs, then pull them back and kill them until you are able to fully clear the room. Once it's clear, use the Staff of Prehistoria on the keystone in the map in the center of the room, and this will trigger an event to open the back door, and out of it will come Ironaya. She is basically a tank and spank, so demo shout, sunder, and just burn her down. She drops some nice male bracers that get randomized stats, so if they get good stats for you, definitely grab them. Then, to complete the quest The Hidden Chamber, run into the room behind Irania where she came out of, and then you'll get quest credit and finish it. And that's basically it. You've completed all of the Uldaman quests. You've got a ton done in a short amount of time. But keep killing the dwarves until you get the power stones and ideally the shattered necklace, and keep looting mushrooms until all of those quests are done. Now before we handle turning in these quests though, let's talk about the Mage quest, Enchanting quest, and another boss you could technically kill for great plate loot. Firstly, for the Enchanting Trainer optional boss and the Enchanting Trainer, which I recommend you do because it drops tasty plate, you should continue north and east along the tunnels. You'll encounter large AoE packs of beasts. Be sure to thunderclap and demo shout them. If you don't have a mage or warlock, these can suck, but still manageable. Try to keep the scorpions off your healer and you should be fine. There are some elite beasts around here as well, basilisks, scorpions, but they're all single pulls and easy to deal with. Once you get around the eastern bend, the southern cavern nook should have a Nora in it for any would-be enchanters in your party. You can then continue up into the northeast to the next large room with the optional boss, the Ancient Keeper. The room here is filled with earthen packs, but with patrolling golems, so pull cautiously to get the packs and golems separate. When you do pull earthen packs, make sure your group prioritizes killing the sculptors. The others are not elite, but the sculptors are trouble if you let them live and get spells off. You'll need to clear a good space around the room to get access to the Ancient Stone Keeper in the back, and make sure you manage to pull him solo. Once you do, he's a bit of a pain because he will spawn a moving tornado that will slow and silence anyone in it. And he is level 44, so he can hit pretty hard. So if you're tanking, make sure you use shield block and make sure your group stays out of the tornado and sunder him, and you should be able to take him out. Once he dies, we'll lastly cover the level 35 mage class quest for their blue weapon, as if you have a mage, they'll likely want to do it. It's pretty easy. Just clear the west end back through the beast tunnels and be aware of the AoE silence from the bats in this area and hold them far away from your healers. When you find the southwestern tunnel, you'll start seeing Shadowforge relic hunters. They like to spam Shadowward Pain and are tricky to pull solo or small groups. You'll usually get groups about 2 or 3 of them, but the only reason you'd come here is if you have a mage, so get that mage to polymorph big pulls and you should be okay. The mage quest target, the Obsidian Sentinel, is really only one pull away from the tunnel entrance, so once you can, grab and kill him. He is tank and spank, but as he loses HP, smaller versions of himself will begin to appear. It's smart to kill them before burning the boss down, but it's not very threatening either way. When you do kill the Obsidian Sentinel, you should really be dunsies with the dungeon. Do not bother clearing further without the follow-up quests and without being at least level 45. Make sure you do the quest turn-ins in Badlands before you finish the Badlands quest cycle. Many of these quests will have follow-ups that will take you back to Ironforge in the Hall of Explorers. When you turn in Solution to Doom in Southern Badlands, accept to Ironforge for Yagan's Digest. When you turn in Prospect of Faith, accept its follow-up as well at the Hammertoe Dig Site. Be sure to stop by Martek the Exiled and turn in Power Stones, then the Iron Band dig site inside Loch Modan to turn in Agmon's Fate, and then in Thalsamar turn in Uldaman Reagent Run. When you get back to Ironforge, turn in Reclaimed Treasures, the Hidden Chamber, and then turn in Passing Word of a Threat twice until it leads to the quest Ambassador of Evil. Don't take the follow-up Ambassador to Evil unless you are not done questing in Badlands and leveling in a group, and you want to go back to Uldaman. Then go to the Forlorn Cavern and turn into Ironforge for Yagan's Digest. The follow-up for this leads to a very powerful trinket, but we won't be doing this in this leveling guide. Make sure to remember this quest exists though. Then lastly, accept the quest from the Shattered Necklace and turn it in inside the Mystic Ward. The next quest asks you for 5 silver bars in this chain. If you can get the 5 silver bars off the auction house, feel free to buy 5 silver bars to turn it in for 2,500 experience. But it's not a big deal unless you're planning to go back to Uldaman, as this quest also chains into a quest that sends you back to the dungeon. So again, if you are planning to run Uldaman again, this quest as well as the Ambassador of Evil both send you back to Uldaman, so make sure to set them up for that. Otherwise, we are done covering Uldaman for this leveling guide. Hopefully yours goes off without a hitch, so I'll see you back in the leveling guide wherever you left off. But until then, I am booping out. Boop.